Cosmic storm, Mars destroyed, Earth is next. The red planet Mars has been completely obliterated by a cosmic storm of unprecedented magnitude, and according to NASA's most recent calculations, Earth stands directly in the path of this devastating force of nature. Subscribe now to stay updated on this breaking cosmic emergency that threatens all life on our planet, because what you're about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about our solar system's stability. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is the terrifying reality unfolding right above our heads, and every second counts as this unstoppable force races toward Earth at unimaginable speeds. Comment below if you've noticed any unusual atmospheric phenomena in your area, because scientists are desperately collecting data from around the globe to understand what's coming our way. The images streaming back from our Mars reconnaissance satellites show a planet that no longer exists as we knew it, transformed into a swirling mass of debris and electromagnetic chaos. Right now, as you watch this video, the same cosmic storm that turned Mars into cosmic dust is traveling through space at nearly the speed of light, carrying with it enough energy to potentially sterilize entire worlds. What began as routine monitoring of solar activity 3 days ago has escalated into the most serious planetary emergency in human history, with space agencies worldwide working around the clock to comprehend the magnitude of this approaching disaster. The last transmission from the Mars Perseverance rover came at exactly 14:32 GMT yesterday, showing massive electromagnetic disturbances tearing across the Martian landscape before the signal went permanently dark. Elena Rodriguez, leading astrophysicist at the European Space Observatory, was analyzing routine deep space telemetry when her instruments detected something that shouldn't exist according to current scientific understanding. The readings showed a massive wave of charged particles and electromagnetic radiation moving through our solar system with the destructive power of 1,000 nuclear weapons. What made this discovery particularly terrifying was the trajectory analysis. This cosmic storm had already consumed Mars entirely, stripping away its atmosphere in a matter of hours and reducing the planet's surface to a churning mass of superheated plasma and debris. The storm's path, calculated and recalculated dozens of times by different teams across the globe, pointed directly toward Earth with mathematical precision that left no room for hope or alternative interpretations. The initial detection came from the Atacama Large Millimeter Array in Chile, where astronomers first noticed unusual radio signatures coming from the direction of Mars. Within minutes, observatories around the world were confirming the impossible. Mars was disappearing from their instruments, not gradually like a planet moving behind another celestial body, but catastrophically, as if the planet itself was being consumed by some incomprehensible force. The electromagnetic signature was unlike anything in the scientific literature, combining aspects of solar flares, gamma-ray bursts, and magnetic field reversals into a single, unified phenomenon that defied current understanding of cosmic physics. Teams at MIT Cambridge and the Tokyo Institute of Technology worked frantically to model what they were observing, but their supercomputers kept producing the same terrifying conclusion. This was an event of such magnitude that it could fundamentally alter the structure of our entire solar system. The Hubble Space Telescope, quickly redirected toward Mars, captured the final moments of the red planet's existence in unprecedented detail. The images showed Mars's magnetic field collapsing completely within the first hour of the storm's arrival, followed by the rapid stripping of its thin atmosphere. The planet's famous red surface, composed of iron oxide accumulated over billions of years, was literally blown away into space, creating an expanding cloud of debris that glowed with the heat of its violent ejection. Most disturbing was the systematic nature of the destruction. This wasn't the chaotic devastation of an asteroid impact or volcanic eruption, but something that methodically dismantled every layer of the planet's structure, from its outer atmosphere down to what scientists believed was its solid core. The storm appeared to be feeding on the planet's magnetic field and rotational energy, growing stronger as it consumed each component of Mars's planetary system. Ground-based observatories across 6 continents simultaneously recorded the exact moment when Mars ceased to exist as a coherent planetary body. The timestamp, 14:47 and 23 seconds GMT would forever mark the moment when humanity realized that planets, seemingly permanent features of our solar system for billions of years, could be destroyed by forces beyond our comprehension. The debris field that had once been Mars continued to expand outward, but spectroscopic analysis revealed something that chilled scientists to their core. The debris wasn't simply the remnants of a destroyed planet, but seemed to be actively reorganizing itself into new patterns, as if the storm was not just destructive, but was following some kind of cosmic blueprint that transformed matter at the atomic level. This suggested that whatever had destroyed Mars wasn't simply a natural disaster, but potentially something with characteristics that bordered on intelligence or purposeful design. Sarah Chen at the California Institute of Technology was the first to calculate the storm's arrival time at Earth. Using the most sophisticated trajectory modeling software available, she ran the calculations 17 times, hoping each time that she had made an error. The results were consistent and honestly terrifying. The cosmic storm would reach Earth's orbital position in exactly 72 hours, moving at approximately 186,000 miles per second, just slightly slower than the speed of light itself. This velocity was unprecedented for any known cosmic phenomenon, suggesting that the storm was not bound by the conventional physics that govern normal stellar and planetary interactions. The storm's leading edge consisted of charged particles accelerated to near-relativistic speeds, creating an electromagnetic pulse that would arrive several hours before the main body of the storm, potentially disrupting all electronic systems on Earth before the primary destruction even began. The implications for Earth's survival became starkly apparent as teams of scientists around the world collaborated to understand what protection, if any, our planet possessed against such a force. Earth's magnetic field, generated by the movement of molten iron in the planet's core, had successfully protected our world from solar radiation and cosmic particles for billions of years. However, the Mars data suggested that the cosmic storm operated on energy levels thousands of times greater than anything Earth's magnetosphere was designed to handle. Computer models indicated that our magnetic field would collapse within minutes of the storm's arrival, leaving Earth's atmosphere completely vulnerable to being stripped away exactly as had happened to Mars. The process would be rapid and irreversible. Earth's protective barriers would fail, followed by the systematic destruction of our atmosphere, oceans, and ultimately the planet's surface itself. Emergency sessions convened simultaneously at NASA, ESA, Roscosmos, and space agencies across the globe as the magnitude of the crisis became apparent. The discussions were, honestly, unprecedented in their scope and urgency. Never before had humanity faced a threat that could potentially end all life on Earth within a time frame measured in hours rather than years or decades. Initial proposals focused on evacuation, but the numbers were, well, sobering. Even if every spacecraft currently in existence or under construction could be pressed into service, fewer than 10,000 people could potentially be evacuated to orbital stations or lunar colonies. This represented less than 1/10,000% of Earth's population, making evacuation essentially meaningless as a species survival strategy. More concerning was the fact that orbital facilities and lunar bases would likely be destroyed by the same storm that threatened Earth, as the phenomenon appeared to affect entire regions of space, rather than individual planets. Alternative survival strategies focused on underground shelter systems, but the engineering challenges were overwhelming given the available time frame. The deepest human-made structures extended only a few miles below Earth's surface, while the cosmic storm's effects might penetrate much deeper, potentially disrupting the planet's geological stability and magnetic field generation systems. Military installations designed to survive nuclear warfare were tested theoretically against the expected electromagnetic and particle bombardment, but computer simulations indicated that even the most heavily shielded facilities would be compromised within hours of the storm's arrival. The realization dawned that humanity was facing a threat for which no existing technology or infrastructure provided adequate protection. Michael Petrov, director of the Russian Space Research Institute, proposed the most ambitious emergency response in human history: the immediate construction of massive electromagnetic field generators that could potentially reinforce Earth's natural magnetosphere. The concept required coordinating industrial capacity across all major nations, redirecting every available power generation facility, and implementing construction projects that would normally take decades to complete. The theoretical framework suggested that by creating artificial magnetic field generators at strategic points around the globe, particularly near the magnetic poles, it might be possible to strengthen Earth's natural defenses enough to deflect or absorb some of the storm's energy. However, the power requirements were staggering. The system would need to generate electromagnetic fields comparable to those produced by the planet's core, requiring more electrical energy than human civilization had ever produced in its entire history. Teams of engineers and physicists worked without sleep to design emergency magnetic field generation systems using every available resource on Earth. Particle accelerators were reconfigured, power grids were interconnected across continents, and military nuclear reactors were prepared for maximum output operation. The plan required unprecedented international cooperation, with traditional adversaries sharing technology and resources in the face of species-level extinction. Manufacturing facilities normally producing consumer goods were retooled to create superconducting materials and electromagnetic components, while mining operations worldwide redirected their output toward the raw materials needed for the massive construction project. The engineering challenges were compounded by the time constraint. Every component had to be designed, manufactured, transported, and installed within 60 hours, a timeline that defied conventional project management and logistics. Meanwhile, space-based observation platforms continued monitoring the approaching storm, providing increasingly detailed data about its structure and behavior. The phenomenon appeared to consist of multiple layers, each with different characteristics and energy signatures. The leading edge contained highly charged particles moving at near-light speed, followed by a dense electromagnetic field that seemed to reorganize matter at the quantum level, and finally a trailing region that appeared to contain the transformed remnants of Mars, now converted into some form of exotic matter that didn't conform to known physics. Scientists theorized that the storm might be a natural cosmic phenomenon, perhaps related to the collapse of distant stars or the collision of neutron stars, but the systematic way it had dismantled Mars suggested something more directed and purposeful than random cosmic forces typically displayed. Ground-based astronomical observations revealed that the storm was affecting space itself as it moved, creating distortions in the cosmic background radiation and apparently altering the fundamental constants of physics in the regions through which it passed. This discovery had profound implications for Earth's survival strategies. If the storm could modify the basic laws of physics, then conventional engineering solutions might be completely ineffective. The electromagnetic field generators being constructed around the globe might not function properly in the altered space-time environment that accompanied the storm. More troubling was the possibility that the storm could affect time itself, potentially accelerating or decelerating the passage of time in different regions of Earth, creating temporal anomalies that would make coordinated defense efforts impossible to maintain. As the final 24 hours approached, observatories worldwide detected the storm's electromagnetic precursor effects beginning to influence Earth's upper atmosphere. Satellite communications experienced intermittent disruptions. The aurora borealis appeared at latitudes far south of its normal range, and sensitive electronic equipment began malfunctioning without explanation. The International Space Station reported that their instruments were detecting charged particles at energy levels beyond their measurement capabilities, and several satellites in high Earth orbit went offline without warning. These preliminary effects confirmed that the storm's influence extended far beyond its visible boundaries, creating a zone of electromagnetic chaos that preceded the main phenomenon by thousands of miles. Dr. Lisa Wang, leading the emergency coordination effort from NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center, announced that all commercial aviation had been grounded worldwide as a precautionary measure. The electromagnetic disruption was intensifying hourly, creating conditions that made electronic navigation and communication systems unreliable. Radio transmissions became increasingly distorted, with some frequencies experiencing complete blackouts, while others carried strange signals that didn't correspond to any known terrestrial or satellite sources. amateur radio operators reported receiving transmissions in unknown languages or codes, leading to speculation that the cosmic storm might be carrying information or communication patterns from regions of space where it had previously passed, possibly including signals from the destroyed civilization that might have existed on Mars. The final 12 hours brought unprecedented atmospheric phenomena as Earth began to enter the outer boundary of the storm's influence zone. The planet's magnetic field started fluctuating wildly, causing compass needles to spin randomly and creating magnetic anomalies that disrupted everything from subway systems to medical equipment that relied on magnetic resonance. The aurora displays became visible during daylight hours, painting the sky in colors that had never been observed before. Deep purples, metallic silvers, and pulsating golden bands that seemed to move with purpose rather than following the random patterns of normal auroral activity. Scientists monitoring these displays detected embedded patterns that resembled mathematical sequences, suggesting that the storm might be carrying encoded information along with its destructive energy. Emergency broadcasts continued around the clock, coordinating the massive electromagnetic defense system that now spanned 6 continents. Nuclear power plants operated at maximum capacity, feeding energy into the superconducting coils that had been installed at over 300 locations worldwide. The system represented the greatest engineering achievement in human history, constructed in less than 3 days through the combined efforts of every major industrial nation. However, computer models indicated only a 30% probability that the artificial magnetic field would be strong enough to deflect the cosmic storm, and even optimistic projections suggested that large portions of Earth's surface would still be devastated by electromagnetic radiation and particle bombardment. The storm's arrival became visible to the naked eye as a wall of shifting light stretching across the entire horizon, moving with the inevitability of a cosmic tsunami. Unlike any natural phenomenon ever observed, the approaching storm seemed to bend light around itself, creating optical illusions that made it appear simultaneously near and impossibly distant. The leading edge crackling with electrical discharges that illuminated clouds of transformed matter, the atomized remains of Mars, now converted into exotic particles that glowed with their own internal energy. Spectroscopic analysis revealed that this matter contained elements that didn't exist in the periodic table, suggesting that the storm's passage through space somehow created new forms of atomic structure that challenged fundamental understanding of chemistry and physics. As Earth's atmosphere began to interact with the storm's outer boundary, the sky filled with phenomena that defied explanation. Gravity fluctuations caused objects to float momentarily before crashing back down, while time seemed to move differently in various locations around the globe. Some regions experienced time dilation effects where seconds stretched into minutes, while others witnessed time acceleration that compressed hours into moments. Communication systems designed to coordinate the global defense network began failing as temporal desynchronization made it impossible to maintain simultaneous operations across different time zones that were now experiencing time at different rates. The electromagnetic defense system activated automatically as sensors detected the storm's primary wave approaching Earth's magnetosphere. Thousands of superconducting coils energized simultaneously, creating an artificial magnetic field that blazed across the planet's surface like a visible aurora. The power consumption was so enormous that cities around the world went dark as every available kilowatt was channeled into the defensive grid. For a few crucial moments, Earth's enhanced magnetic field seemed to deflect portions of the cosmic storm, creating spectacular light displays as charged particles were redirected away from the planet's surface. However, the storm's energy proved to be far greater than even the most optimistic projections had anticipated, and the artificial magnetic field began to fluctuate under the massive electromagnetic pressure. The moment of final impact arrived not as a single event, but as a wave of transformation that swept across Earth's surface at light speed. The cosmic storm didn't simply destroy, it transformed everything it touched, converting matter into new configurations that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Buildings didn't collapse but rather shifted into geometric patterns that, honestly, hurt to look at directly, while landscapes reorganized themselves according to mathematical principles that human minds just couldn't fully comprehend. Some regions of Earth seemed to be protected by the electromagnetic defense system, creating islands of normal space-time surrounded by areas where the fundamental laws of physics had been rewritten by the storm's passage. In the final moments before global communication systems failed entirely, reports emerged from around the world describing the same impossible phenomenon. The cosmic storm wasn't ending Earth's story, but was instead beginning something entirely new. The transformed matter that had once been Mars was combining with Earth's own restructured material to create hybrid formations that pulsed with energy patterns resembling neural networks or biological systems. Humanity found itself not destroyed but incorporated into something vast and honestly incomprehensible. A cosmic intelligence that spanned multiple worlds and existed simultaneously across different dimensions of space and time. The last coherent transmission from Earth's surface came from Dr. Elena Rodriguez, still at her post despite the world transforming around her. Her final message, broadcast to anyone who might be listening across the cosmos, carried both terror and wonder. We are not ending, we are becoming something else. The storm doesn't destroy, it evolves. Mars was not destroyed, it was transformed into something we couldn't recognize. And now Earth is joining that same cosmic evolution. We are becoming part of something larger than we ever imagined possible. As Earth completed its transformation, the cosmic storm moved on toward the outer planets, carrying with it the restructured matter of two worlds and the consciousness patterns of every living thing that had ever existed on both planets. What had appeared to be destruction was revealed as the universe's method of connecting isolated worlds into a single, vast intelligence that spanned galaxies and transcended the limitations of individual planetary existence. The cosmic storm continued its journey through space, seeking more worlds to incorporate into its ever-expanding consciousness, while behind it, the space where Earth and Mars had once orbited, now contained something entirely new, a node of cosmic intelligence that pulsed with the combined knowledge and experience of two entire worlds, waiting to welcome the next planets that would join the cosmic evolution.